so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you're joining me from. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Accept my greeting according to your time zone. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. You can be among the first to receive it. Then go to the comment section at all times. Leave your comment, drop your contribution. If you have suggestions, make it out there. If you have any criticism, put it down on the comment section. It will make us to get better, presenting you a better program. Thank you.
Okay, man. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much for joining, Evangelist. Please share the broadcast as you join. Share the broadcast on your platform. Share the broadcast to family and friends. Share the broadcast to anyone that is closer to you. Thank you so much for joining wherever you are joining from. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining. Sunrise, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you as you have joined. Please continue to share on your platform. Share on any WhatsApp group that you belong. Share to family and friends. Share to your neighbors. Chamberlain, thank you for joining. Chamberlain, all hail Biafra. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining. Please share the broadcast as you join. Thank you for connecting. Ngele, Madabuchi, thank you so much for joining, Ngele. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being part of the message this evening. Please, as you join, you share the broadcast on your own platform. Share the broadcast in any WhatsApp group that you belong. Any WhatsApp group that you belong. Make sure you share to one WhatsApp group. And make sure you share to your own platform, to family and friends. Any group at all that you know they need to hear our voice, please share so that they can join us and hear our voice. I appreciate every one of you that have connected today. I'm so sorry I came late than usual. Normally by now we are rounding up our message, but sometime time got to shift and I have to shift my broadcast. The most important thing that we are here now and we are speaking to Biafran people as usual. Remember that you are in a platform autopiloted by Chukwu Okikabiama himself, under the new Biafran Republic government in exile, on the hand of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and on the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is where we stand. We continue to speak the truth and nothing but the truth. Chibuzo, thank you for joining. We'll set the record straight. What we do here is to encourage Biafrans, to encourage our families and friends, to encourage people to do that which we are supposed to do. We are not here to preach hate speech. We are not here to fight against anybody. We are not here to push propaganda or blackmail against anybody else. What we do here is to speak the truth and nothing but the truth. To debunk every lie against us and against the Biafran people, against our Prime Minister and against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is what we do here. I thank you for joining us this evening on this very episode, and we are going to discuss, as usual, another important discussion to encourage each other. And the topic we have chosen to talk about today is, what does it take to be a Biafran? What does it take to be a Biafran? It is a question that every one of us must have to answer sincerely in our heart. What does it take to be a Biafran? Our Supreme Leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have talked about this several times. He said that most of us do not know what it takes to be a Biafran. So many of us today who are claiming to be Biafrans, we want Biafra, we want freedom, we want this, we want that. But yet, you don't know what it takes to be a Biafran. That is what we have to discuss today. What does it take to be a Biafran? It is not enough for you to be born as a Biafran. You know automatically if you are born from the old southeastern region, which is the present south and the southeast, with the lower Benue. In any area or that place where your grandmother is tying 2 pieces of wrapper, you are automatically a Biafran by birth. But it takes more than being born a Biafran to be a Biafran. It takes more than being born a Biafran to be a Biafran. There are some people today who claim to be on the mainland that they are called Biafran, but yet, when you look at them critically, you see that they are not really Biafrans. There are so many today who will be shouting on their platform, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is our leader. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is our leader. I am a member of IPOB. I took an oath. I did this, I did that. But when you look at them critically, you see that these people, they are not Biafrans. What does it take to be a Biafran? For you to be a Biafran, it has to cost you a lot. As it stands today, in that zoological republic called Nigeria, for you to be a Biafran, number one, you must be brave. You must be brave. That is what makes you a Biafran. You must be brave. You must be brave and know that you are a king and not a slave. If you are one of those who have accepted slavery and yet you are claiming to be a Biafran, automatically you are not a Biafran. Biafrans are freeborn. They are not slaves. So one of the qualities you must have to be a Biafran is bravery. You must be brave. Because being a Biafran is not a child's play. It comes with a lot of responsibilities. It comes with a lot of challenges. It comes with a lot of things. So number one thing you must have as a Biafran is bravery. There are so many people today who their cowardice have made them to hide under their pillow. They have denied themselves. Some of them have changed their names, changed their identities. But those who are truly Biafrans, they are brave. Come sun, come rain, anytime you call them, they are standing tall as Biafrans. Bravery is one of the things you must have that qualifies you to be a Biafran. Another thing is truthfulness. For you to be a Biafran, you must be truthful. You must be truthful. You must be truthful and sincere in all your dealings. That qualifies you to be a true Biafran. You cannot be somebody who betrays his brother, who sells his brother, a Confucianist, a deceiver, a liar, and then you claim to be a Biafran. You're not going to succeed. And with those attitudes, you are not a Biafran. Being a Biafra comes with a lot of challenges. You must be brave and you must be truthful. And the next thing you must have to do is that you must be consistent. Consistent in your dealings. You must be consistent. Of course, when you are truthful in what you are doing and what you are pursuing, you need to be consistent in order for you to succeed. That was why our Supreme Mazen Nnamdi Kanu gave it to us as a memory verse. Consistency is the key. Don't forget that. Some of you forget so easily. Don't forget that. Consistency is the key. Those are what makes you a true Biafran. Bravery, truthfulness, consistency. If you don't have them, you might be born a Biafran, but you are not. Those are the qualities you must have as a Biafran. When you have these qualities in you, you will be an overcomer. You can overcome every challenges. A Biafran is not a coward. Look from our grandparents. Just look back. to our grandparents. You remember the story of the people who were kidnapped as slaves in Biafra land and they were taken to the United States for slavery. Our great-grandparents who were captured and taken to the United States for slavery, they stood their ground and said that they are freeborn and not a slave. And instead of them to bow down to serve anybody, they drowned themselves in the sea and returned back to their land in the spirit. That is how brave a Biafran is. If you don't have that spirit of bravery in you, we have to look you once again. We have to begin to question your DNA if you are truly a Biafran. Even though you were born in that very territory, by birth as a Biafran, but we know those who are truly Biafran. Our great-grandparents laid that example and made us understand that we are not slaves. Our eternal leader, Dim Odumegwu, took up the challenge when the time came. When the time was right for him to take the challenge, he took up the challenge. Even when he knew that there was nothing to go for the use for the fight. Even when he knew that there was no country on his own side. Even when he knew the military might and the support that the Nigerian government had. Our eternal leader, Dim Odumegwu, was brave to defend his own land and his own people. He didn't chicken out. For 3 good years, he was against the whole world. Not looking back, he was brave. He fought, not looking right, left, and center. Truthfully, investing his own wealth in it. Investing his father's wealth to defend his own land and protect it. Until when the time came, he had to step aside. And Philip Effiong, the second in command, took over and then handed over to Nigeria. When they said there was no victor, no vanquish. They read the agreement of no victor, no vanquish, and that was how we gave them the second chance of a trial. It is not because that just Biafrans just decided to hands off or they ran away out of cowardice or whatever. It is clear. They said it, no victor, no vanquish. And then we gave them the second chance to see if it's going to work. And since then, those true Biafrans remain Biafrans in their heart, in their blood, in their thought, in their dealings, truthfully, consistently pursuing that freedom which they desire. There are so many veterans who fought in the Civil War that are still here today. They are still in autopilot today. Veterans who fought, they never forgot it. That's when we talk about consistency. Even our eternal leader, until his death, consistently was calling for the freedom of his people. Consistently, he was calling for the freedom of his people. He didn't chicken out from that assignment. And not until we got to the stage of our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu started with little or nothing. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, judging by the feelings and thinking of human being, he wouldn't have continued in the struggle. Judging by what was happening when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu started the struggle, he wouldn't have continued. But because of his bravery, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stood his ground since 2011. Single-handedly. When nobody was listening, he was still talking on radio. From one room, from one laptop. Pursuing that same freedom, which is whom we are, Biafran people. Freeborn. Our Supreme Leader knew about that and he began to pursue it. He was brave. Even when the whole world was against him, he continued. Even when his own kingsmen turned against him, he continued. Everybody rose against him, he continued. An attempt was made on his life, he continued. His parents was taken away from him, he continued. Until the moment he was kidnapped, he continued. Even up to now, our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still pursuing that freedom. That is the spirit of a Biafra. Biafranness comes with responsibility. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu stood up to that challenge up to today. You heard about so many of our heroes who fought. Ikonso was another true example of a Biafran. Ikonso was living abroad, living very fine, and he came back to defend his father's land. And in the process, he was betrayed, and he lost his life in the cause. He was a brave man, a true Biafran, who knows what freedom is all about, who knows who he is, that he is a freeborn and not a slave. Ikonso stood and he fought until the last minute when he was betrayed and taken away from us. May his soul rest in peace. And his spirit is still fighting up to today. There are so many other brave men who have fought. The true Biafrans, those who are... To be a Biafran is not a child's play. You don't just... You can't be a coward and be claiming to be a Biafran. No. Biafranness comes with bravery. You must be brave. Today, even after the kidnap of our Sudanese and they thought that the Biafrans will run into their shelters. Instead of Biafrans running in, more Biafrans are coming out. More Biafrans are coming out. When they poison a certain group, another group will come out. Today you are hearing about our supreme leader, our prime minister, Master Simon Ekpa. You hear about Biafra Republic in exile. Biafra Republic government in exile. It takes bravery to walk all these paths. It takes bravery to walk all these paths. Biafra restoration today is no longer a joke. We are on a very serious stage. Very, very serious stage. A stage that even the Zoological Republic itself is scared. They are shivering. But normally, as you know, as Pharaoh, stubborn as Pharaoh was, Pharaoh, with all the miracle that Moses did in his presence, he never let the children of Israel go. Even when he decided to surrender to let them go, he still chased them again to the sea. That is the kind of spirit we are dealing with today, the spirit of Pharaoh. So it takes a lot of courage and bravery for us to overcome. That is why every Biafran must be brave. If you are one of those who is still hiding, you better come out from your shelf. Come out from your shelf. Hiding cannot make you a Biafran. Hiding cannot give you the freedom. You must come out from your comfort zone and do what you have to do to get your freedom. That is what Biafra is all about. When Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said that some of us do not know what it takes to be a Biafran, that is what it means. To be a Biafran, you must be ready to make the sacrifice. You must be ready to make the sacrifice. That is what Biafra is. Biafra is not like every other African country we are looking at. Biafra is not like the zoo. The citizens of Biafra, we are patriotic to the core. That is why we say Biafra is our religion. When our Supreme Mazen Nnamdi Kanu use that word, you know how dear your religion is to your heart. You know that people don't play with their religion. Some people can even dump their family and parents because of their religion. That's to show you how important Biafra is, that it is our religion. We will protect it with anything we have. Just like you see some world powers doing. And Israel's citizen will protect the land of Israel with the last drop of his blood. A citizen of Israel, a Jew, is ready to fight and die for his nation. The same with Americans. Americans stand for their nation and they can die for their nation and make the ultimate sacrifice at any given time. From the youngest one to the eldest one, they are ready to make the sacrifice. And that is what it takes to be a Biafran. You can't be a coward and claim to be a Biafran. You must be ready to make the ultimate sacrifice at every given time. That is what it takes to be a Biafran. You must be ready at all time. It can't be hiding. We are kings, princes, and queens in Biafra land. And we cannot take anything less than that. That is why we speak up. That is why we are talking on a daily basis. That is why the enemy is scared. They have tried to oppress us and suppress us. They see that these people cannot be oppressed. Even after taking the life of our people in the civil war, and continue to do so with all the intimidation, with all the militarization of Biafra land, and yet the Biafrans are speaking up. It takes a lot to be a Biafran.